Hey everybody, welcome back. Now today is a new guitar day, which is always fun and exciting, but the main reason I'm doing this video is because I want to talk about a component on this guitar, this custom Sur I have here, that really helps with tuning stability. And anyone that's ever owned a Strat or a guitar with a traditional Strat style vintage tremolo knows that tuning stability is often a problem, especially when you use the bar a lot. And this component really helps a lot with it. Now, before I get into that, I do want to give a quick shout out to Eddie's Guitars. They're the dealer out of St. Louis that I bought this guitar from, and I've talked about them a little bit before in the past. Every time I go to their website, I'm always impressed with their inventory, and in fact, from my experience, they have the best selection of Sur guitars out there, ranging from the off-the-shelf models to the custom one-offs like this one. So if you happen to talk to the guys at Eddie's, I'd appreciate if you'd let them know that PDX Guitar Freak from YouTube sent you, if you happen to remember. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into it. All right, so what is this mystery component that I'm so excited about? Well, if we look closely at the bridge here, you can see the saddles look a little bit different, right? Well, these are Wilkinson locking saddles. You see the little black Allen or hex screws? Those screws lock the strings right there at the intonation point, which equalizes the tension, and then the string, because it's locked, doesn't jump off the saddle. It won't slip, which it's prone to do, especially with that finicky little G string, right? So let me play a little bit more for you so you can see how well it works. Now, it's not necessarily going to solve all of your tuning problems. For example, if you have issues with your tuners or your nut, which both can impact your tuning stability, this doesn't solve that. It's only addressing the slippage that occurs at the saddles. So obviously, having locking tuners and a lubricated nut are still going to help in addition, even with these locking saddles. Now, what's also great about them is that they only require one extra step in the process when you're changing your strings, and that's the locking of the string with an Allen wrench. So when changing your strings, you do everything you normally do, and once the strings are stretched and tuned, you simply lock the string in place. So where do you find these saddles? Well, there are two ways. You can buy the entire Wilkinson WLS130 bridge, which I have here, and which comes standard with the locking saddles. Or you can buy the saddles separately and retrofit your existing bridge with them. They have the standard saddle spacing intended to drop right into most traditional Strat style bridges, which is something I'll probably do with my other applicable guitars over time. If you go to the Wilkinson Direct page on the Reverb website, you'll find the complete bridge for about $255, or just the saddles for about $85 for the set. Now, I also want to call out that Sur guitars are still using the Goto 510 bridge as their default Strat style bridge on most of their guitars. And I love the Goto 510. It's a great bridge. I have it on a few guitars. But you will find this Wilkinson WLS130 bridge on two of their models, the Pete Thorne signature guitar and the John Suhr signature guitar. And, Pete Thorne was actually kind of the guinea pig for this bridge and the saddles. He actually road tested it for Wilkinson for I think about 6 months to a year before they were available to the public. Now, I also want to call out that while I was in the market for a new Sur guitar and I was looking for a one-off custom order like this one, I noticed more and more of the custom Surs are being ordered with this bridge. The Goto 510 is still the most prevalent bridge, but these are popping up more and more. Now, if I had Trev Wilkinson's ear, I'd be making a few recommendations, and it's really all aesthetic or cosmetic because I wouldn't change a thing about the functionality. First, I think it would look better if the screws weren't black and they matched the color of the bridge. And I'm not sure why they made the decision to make them black, other than it makes the screws kind of stand out, so maybe that was, their intention solely so people would look at them like for the attention factor, like, oh, what's up with that bridge? I better take a closer look. And then second, it would be great if they offered the saddles in gold and black. so that people with gold and black bridges could have the saddles matching the bridge. Like this bridge, for example, is gold. I think it would look better with matching gold saddles. But again, these are just some cosmetic options I'd like to see, and I'd like to assume that Wilkinson will go down that route once demand increases. Now, a few more things I want to say before we wrap up here. First of all, I know it's inevitable. I'm going to get a comment from someone who's going to say, you know what, dude, I don't need locking saddles on my Strat trim. I know how to set it up so it never goes out of tune. And that's fantastic. I really do think that if you can do that, kudos to you. But for 99.9% of us out there, tuning stability with a Strat style trim remains an issue, especially if we want to really dig into that Strat trim. I'm not talking about doing very subtle vibrato. I'm talking about really digging in with it. These locking saddles do help. Now, all of that said, I'm not going to treat it like a Floyd Rose, right? I'm not going to take that bar and dip it down so the strings are flapping in the mud, right? That's not how I'm going to treat it. If I want to do that, I'm going to grab a guitar with a Floyd Rose, okay? But this provides me with the extra peace of mind that really, helps knowing that, my guitar is going to stay in tune much better than without it. So for me, it's definitely worth it. All right, everybody, that was my video on the Wilkinson locking saddles. If you found it helpful or informative, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you aren't already. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I will attempt to answer them as time allows. Until next time, rock on.